when we were first married, we lived in a 982 square foot home, and it was heated with a wood burning stove, and it was just always cold. And if you've ever been to Michigan in the winter, you know how cold it can get. And so Orrin, being the frugal man that he is, he had us put plastic over the windows all winter long.
Well, when I was 6 years old, I distinctly remember that every Friday we would load up in our real old rusty Suburban and drive up to where my dad was working as an electrician at General Motors, and he would run out with his paycheck just after lunch so that we could take that paycheck, and my mom would go and run to the bank and cash it. Now, at the time I didn't understand all the details, but she said, well, we got to get that money in there to pay the bills. And I was thinking, man, at 6 years old, I said, I want to be able to make enough money that we don't have to run to every Friday to get a paycheck. As I got involved in life, Lori and I are 25 years old. Lori's working as an accountant, I'm working as an engineer, and we were living paycheck to paycheck, and every month we're getting a little bit further behind. And we said, something's got to change. So through the craziest chain of events, something did change, because we got exposed to a bigger picture, and I remembered that at 6 years old and said, this is my opportunity to do something great. Our driving force was we want to change, and we recognized that if we want to change, that we would probably have to be the beginning of that change.
When we stopped living paycheck to paycheck, I'll never forget the day we wrote a check for the very last credit card payment. To know that we didn't owe anybody anything, to have houses with no mortgage, to have cars with no car payments, to have absolutely no debt, that is just such a freeing feeling. Well, to be able to share with somebody that, boy, it doesn't have to be that way. You can live a life where you don't owe anybody anything. That is just a wonderful feeling.
Well, we look at MonaVie as, you know, under three banners. There's healthy, wealthy, and wise. And so when we had a chance to get introduced to the product and started tasting the product, started looking at the benefits that were happening in our lives and the people that we're sharing with it, right away we knew we were going to be MonaVie product users for life. Well, then you start looking at the actual business opportunity behind this incredible product, and Lori and I are totally about that. We believe that your pay raise becomes effective as soon as you do. But then when you wrap it around a community of people that are learning and growing, what we call a learning organization, that's the icing on the cake.
So what's happening?
Well, I tell you, I'm excited about building communities. I believe that we've got the best opportunity. People are losing their jobs, people are losing their businesses, and here we have one of the lowest cost businesses with the highest return in the industry.
Absolutely. It's funny, people are acting like they have some kind of plan B. I don't see a lot of plan Bs out there, but MonaVie is the plan A for so many people.
Yeah, what seems to happen is people get bunker mentality. You know, when the economy gets tight or their money gets a little tight, they get bunker mentality. Instead of pulling back, they need to rush forward into what MonaVie has to offer.
I believe this whole business boils down to hope. It's like you can live 30 days without food. You can live 3 days without water. You can live 3 minutes without air, but you can't live 3 seconds without hope. And that's what we do, is we bring hope back to people, and hope leads to belief, and then belief leads to action, and action leads to results in the MonaVie business.
I think Orrin and Lori are so different than other people we've been around is because they don't just act like leaders, they are leaders. They actually live out the principles that they talk about, and I think that's so important to not just talk about principles, but live principles, and they're such great encouragers, and that's why they have so many people that are loyal to them in their community, and you know, we'll follow them to the ends of the earth. We just absolutely appreciate them and love them.
And they share their secrets of success with us all the time, and that they don't have to do that, but they serve the team and continue to share their success with us so that we can move on as well.
One of the best things about this business is being able to stay home and be with our children, and so having them home, we get to homeschool them, and that has been one of the biggest blessings. And you know, they're very independent, so they do a lot on their own, but I do, you know, I get to kind of keep them on track. And we also take the kids out on individual dates. We get to go take them out and have some individual time, and I think, you know, thank God that we have this business that has let us be stay-at-home parents.
Well, hitting Black Diamond to us was our first major goal entering into MonaVie. Man, what a company that we go out there and stretch and do the work to accomplish a goal, and Dallin and MonaVie make sure that we're amply rewarded for the effort.
One of my very favorite blessings is that when you go Black Diamond, MonaVie gives you a black Mercedes.
Because that's how we roll.
Well, that is just, it's always been a dream of mine. I love fast cars, and my favorite thing to do is to hand somebody the keys and say, go take it for a spin, you know, go, you can have one of these one day, and to see their face when they come back in. You know, I have an SL63 and that thing can fly. And
it can fly.
To see their face when they come back in, oh, it is so fun.
Orrin and Lori embody the principles of success that MonaVie represents because they started with really nothing that you could speak of materialistically. They are a couple that's a rags to riches story. It's incredible what they've done through the opportunities of this business, and particularly with MonaVie. Can you imagine that a kid like Orrin Woodward from humble beginnings in Columbiaville, Michigan would grow up and be able to accomplish these types of things? It should be an inspiration to everybody who sees the Woodward story and realizes that they can do it too.
I would say Orrin and Lori are very others focused. It seems like they just never think of themselves and are continually thinking of how they can serve other people.
Well, you know, a lot of people are like, wow, you got a 76-foot yacht, that must be great. And I said, well, if you told me that we could have a 76-foot yacht, but we couldn't have our friends on that yacht with us, then all of a sudden the value of that yacht goes down to practically nothing, because our goal of having some of the material things is to expose people to a bigger picture of what's possible in life. And so when we get people down here and they walk around this property and they maybe go out fishing on the yacht with us, or we take out one of the other boats that we have, or we'll go out to some of the restaurants in the area or go down to the beach, they start to realize, wow, there's more to life than just 5-6 days a week. We love to go down to the Keys, take the yacht down to the Keys, and on the right nights you can literally stay right out in the ocean, just protected by one of the islands down there, and you realize, man, what if we would have said no? I mean, it would have been so easy just to say, you know, we're busy, we got so many things going on, and to think that just that little yes, well, now all of a sudden all these things have come true, not just for us, but for so many people on the MonaVie team, and we're just so thankful, and we want to give that back to as many people as we can and say, wow, this is the way life is meant to be lived. I look at our family. I want to make sure that Lori and I have done a good job of not just providing for them materially, but we want to make sure we've taught them the values and the core beliefs necessary that they can go out there and have success in their own way.
When you can really change a life, when you can help a family stay together, then boy, that to me makes all the difference in the world, and that's what it's really all about.